what's up guys? Welcome back. We're here again for another southbound breakdown with these awesome Triumph motorcycles. We've been having a ton of fun with these. Seems like you guys have really been enjoying them, so we're gonna keep the ball rolling. Once again, I'm Chris.
I'm Jake.
This is the southbound breakdown with a 2020 Triumph Speed Twin. Jake had an opportunity to spend a weekend with this bike. He's gonna break it down and tell you all about it.
Man, I'm super impressed across the board with the Triumph motorcycle lineup. I've gotten to spend extended seat time now with 4 of the models. A Triumph Scrambler 900, the Rocket 3, Street Triple R, and then this last weekend, this Speed Twin 1200. And they're all fantastic bikes in their own right. I think so far, the one that I would buy if I was buying one today is this one right here. And here's why I say that. So in the last month, I spent 3 of the last 4 weekends with these motorcycles, the Street Triple R, the Rocket 3, and now the Speed Twin. The Street Triple R is a fantastic sport bike. It's very sharp, very precise, very racy feeling. And then the Rocket 3 is just the baddest muscle bike on planet Earth, and it's amazing. This one, though, I think very neatly lands right in between the two, and I think this one, for me, kind of best captures the essence of motorcycling. My very first motorcycle was a Harley Sportster 1200, and even though, you know, the spec sheet, it's not a great bike, I certainly enjoyed it because it was kind of a back to basics type of thing. This bike right here, it's plenty of sport bike. You know, this thing's light and flickable, and you can really get after it in the corners. But it also gave me some of the attitude of the Rocket 3. This one with the parallel twin engine and the dual exhaust, I thought it sounded the best of the 3. And I just really love the look of this bike. I think this is the look that I think of when I think of a Triumph motorcycle. You know, the Bonneville is their signature platform, and this is, you know, kind of a hopped up Bonneville. I want to let you hear this engine because I think it sounds fantastic.
That does sound really good. For a stock
exhaust, it doesn't get much better than that. It's just got a nice rumble, sounds great when you rev it out, and you know, this thing doesn't have the brute force that the Rocket 3 does, but it's plenty of power. This is like 96 horsepower and 80 something pound-feet of torque. Plenty of power there to have a lot of fun, and you know, plenty of lean angle to get after it in the corners. This has got some nice performance rubber on it. These Pirelli Rossi tires.
Yeah, Diablo Rosso 3s. That's a heck of a tire.
Okay. They offered plenty of grip, I thought. Actually, one of the mornings I was out, it was actually like 35 degrees, and there was still some black ice out, so I wasn't really pushing it very hard. But I really like the finishes. I like the black finish on the engine, and I really like what they've done here to create the illusion of an old bike. Like these cooling fins here kind of imply that it's an air-cooled bike, but it's actually a liquid-cooled motorcycle. You can see up here the radiator. So these are just really for aesthetic. And then this looks like carburetors right here, but it's actually got an electronic fuel injection system. It looks old school, but this is a thoroughly modern motorcycle. You've got very modern brakes.
Yeah, nice Brembo calipers up there, twin rotors.
And there's just something about the simplicity of the look here. I love the single round headlight.
Oh, let's come around here and check that out. Oh yeah.
I love these brushed aluminum fenders.
Let's take a look at that.
And then if you look at the gauges here, these look like a really nice watch. Very classy. The brushed aluminum in between here. Every Triumph I've ridden so far, the fit and finish is awesome. Just the quality of the materials feels really nice.
You know what's funny is that I have ridden this motorcycle, and until you mentioned the gauge cluster and the details, I never paid any attention to it. I never even noticed it. But it's true. It actually does look like a really nice watch.
Yeah, and you know, there were moments when I was riding this where it took me back to being, you know, 18, 19 years old riding my Harley Sportster. This is a better bike in every way than a Harley Sportster. But it kind of reminded me of that, you know, that newfound freedom that motorcycling gave me.
Yeah.
So
it's a 1200cc parallel twin, but it has all of the modern features that you would expect to see in today's era of bikes, like ABS brakes and traction control and stuff. Is that correct?
Absolutely. And you know what they've done here is really created a really capable motorcycle that looks like it's, I mean, this thing looks like it's from the 60s or 70s.
Yeah, it really does have the classic Bonneville body lines, kind of that flat appearing seat.
And this is how I know I'm getting older, because I choose this one out of the three that I've spent a weekend with, because I think I would do the least damage to my driving record with this one. That doesn't mean I wouldn't get after it and have fun. But with the Rocket 3, you can very easily be doing 25, 30 miles over the speed limit, and it doesn't even feel like it.
Right.
You have to be a little more intentional with this. You know, if you want to go fast on this bike, it's definitely capable of it, but you have to put forth a little effort, and you have to use good riding fundamentals. So
it doesn't just happen in the blink of an eye, like on the Rocket, where you're all of a sudden went from 60 to 110 and didn't even realize it.
Yeah, and the reality is, even a slow motorcycle is faster than most cars. Any bike that's got 75 horsepower and weighs under 500 pounds is going to be a lot of fun to ride. And this is well over 75 horsepower and well under 500 pounds. So it's a properly sporty motorcycle, but I just love the way it looks. And you know, affordability is a factor as well. This bike is $12,700, you know, versus a Rocket is, you know, up over 20 grand. So this is a bike I could buy and afford right now, and you know, the service intervals are very reasonable on this. Once you get past your 600-mile break-in service, I want to say it's 8,000 or 10,000 miles before your first service on this.
That's pretty impressive.
One thing I would change, and this is just an adjustment, just for me, I would move the shifter down a little bit. It felt like it wasn't in the best position for my foot. A couple times I hit neutral trying to go from first to second. But that's a 5-minute adjustment. And
sure.
Yeah, I'm just super grateful that I've got to spend the amount of time with these bikes that I have, and I've thoroughly enjoyed all of them. I really don't think you could go wrong with any of the models in the Triumph lineup, but so far, this is the one that I would put my money on.
Well, it's been certainly fun from a friend and coworker's perspective to watch you turn into such an advocate of the brand. Obviously, it's made a huge impression on you as a rider and as an enthusiast of all things motorcycles to really grasp you like these bikes have just from spending a couple days on them.
Yeah, I just think that with my experience as a rider, Triumph captures the essence of motorcycling the best.
That's awesome. And the Speed Twin, from the seat of your pants, you know, you can beat the spec sheet to death, but when you put your ass on the seat and your hands on the grips and you twist that throttle, puts a big smile on your face.
Yeah, I'm going to say, honestly, the specs don't really matter all that much with these bikes. You know, even with the Scrambler 900, if you read the spec sheet, you know, it's like around 60 horsepower. Pretty easy to read that and say, meh. You know what, that is a very torquey bike, and I thoroughly enjoyed riding that one around too. It makes all the right noises, it looks really cool, and at no point riding that one did I ever feel like, oh, this is underpowered or anything like that. So motorcycling is more about what you feel, what you hear, and what you see while you're riding. You know?
Yep.
I don't think the 0 to 60 times and the quarter mile and all that stuff matters. I don't race on a track, and I don't spend my free time at a drag strip. So
yeah,
I do my riding in the real world. So
very cool. Well, thank you very much for your review on this bike. I think it's a very exciting motorcycle, and I think the Triumph lineup is something that, if you are a motorcycle enthusiast, you should definitely take a look at these bikes. They've come a very long way as a brand. 112 years of history with Triumph motorcycles, and to say that the modern era of Triumph motorcycles is anything less than superb is crazy in my mind, because these bikes are just incredibly well put together. All of them ride great. Jake is a testament of that.
Yeah, so the two bikes I own a Honda CRF 450X dual sport, and then I have a Yamaha FJ09 sport touring bike. And I love both of those bikes. They're both fantastic. But every Triumph I've ridden, there's an extra level of refinement, feeling of substance, and there's a feeling of that you're on something premium. And that's why, even though the two bikes I have I'm happy with, I'm not going to part with either one of them. There's definitely going to be a Triumph in the mix at some point. So
that's awesome. Very cool. Well, thanks again, you guys. Give us a call down here, Southbound Motorsports. We're located in Lakewood, Washington. Phone number is 253-582-2288. Visit us online at www.southboundhonda.com. If you're ready to pull the trigger on a Triumph today, come on down. We'd love to get you out on a test ride. Stay tuned. I think we're going to start to try to put together some ride days where we'd love to have folks join us, maybe have an opportunity to ride a little Triumph around. All right, this has been another Southbound Breakdown with Chris
and Jake. I'm out.
Peace.